This is a demonstration of the DigiFix technique in the dynamic mode for PIP instability. First, get the joint reduced, which could entail an open procedure for the more chronic cases. Keep the reduction with a temporary dorsal pin. Place this pin out of the planned trajectory of the axis pin. Next is the axis pin. The approximate starting point is the apex of the skin crease when the PIP joint is flexed. This starting point should be confirmed by fluoroscopy. The 1.4mm K-wire is used for the axis pin and is driven parallel to the joint and perpendicular to the long axis of P1. Accurate placement of the axis pin is a key step in the procedure. The distal set screw on the bracket should be backed up one full turn to allow passage of the K-wires. After confirming proper position of the axis pin, slide a bracket over the pin. The bracket can now be used as a guide for the distal K-wires into P2. The distal K-wires are 1.1mm in diameter. Take care to insert the K-wires perpendicular to the long axis of P2 and in the middle of the bone in the sagittal plane. Leaving the end of the wire long and uneven will make it easier to slide the second bracket on the other side of the finger because the wires can be fed one at a time through the bracket. At least 2 K-wires are required distally in P2 and should be spaced out if possible. At this point, the basic construct of the DigiFix external fixator is completed. The temporary dorsal pin is removed and the finger is ranged and checked for stability. The distal wires can be cut flush to the bracket. First, mark the wires on the outer borders of the bracket. Then loosen the distal set screw on one side and slide the bracket up against the finger. Cut the distal wires at the markings, then slide the bracket back out until it is flush with the ends of the wires. Lock down the distal set screws again. The axis pin is bent to 90 degrees and cut short. If distraction of the joint is required, use pliers to squeeze down the diamond portion of the bracket up to 50% of its initial height, which will provide about 1mm of lengthening. Further compression of the diamond is not recommended. Each bracket can be lengthened independent of one another. This concludes the instructions for application of the DigiFix external fixator in the dynamic mode.